Uh, so in today's video, I am going to explain what I mean by saying the system of point headings in subjects like social science or similar type of memory based subjects. We need to follow a system of point headings, especially in social sciences, humanities and similar type of subjects. To make our work easy, we need to do a system of point headings, key facts and key points system. I have been telling these things always. So let us see one example. So this is from gender, religion and caste of standard 10 political science. Suppose one topic we are having, women face disadvantage, discrimination and oppression in various ways. So we write point number 1 in the field of literacy head. So for this question, that you have to, suppose you are asked to justify that women in India face disadvantage, discrimination and oppression in various ways. Suppose this statement is given to justify. So your point number 1 should be in the field of literacy rate. This should be your point heading. In the explanation you can write anything of your own. Then your second point, in the field of high paid jobs. So in the high paid jobs, how women face discrimination. This will be your key point or your point heading. Then in equal work, equal wages not followed. Suppose this point heading. So this point heading you have to keep only eye on one important key fact of this particular point heading. That is the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. It provides equal wages should be paid for equal work, or equal work for equal wages. Equal work, equal wages not followed. The point heading is simple. Then preference to male child. This is a system of key points and point headings. Suppose if you learn only these keywords, then you can easily answer 5-mark question or 3-mark question based on this. So it will be an easier way. After reading this book, reading your textbook, if you do this system of point headings, it will be easier for you to remember. This technique generally many teachers, many content creators, many YouTube teachers, many school teachers, even they don't say this technique actually in some cases. But this is very effective technique. Then suppose one question or one topic you can say, role of women in politics. So your key points are in Lok Sabha, in state legislative assembly, in the cabinet, in local self-government, women reservation bill. So these are your point headings or your key points. And your key facts what? 14.36% of its total in the total strength for the first time in 2019. Or suppose your point 2 is state legislative assembly. In that your key fact is what? Less than 5% in the cabinet. Then in local self government, here your key fact is what? 1/3 of seats. In point number 5, women reservation bill. This is also a system of point headings example. Then suppose instances involving a relationship between religion and politics. So you only here have to make 3 point headings according to Gandhi, human rights group, women's movement. If in this way also you remember, you are going to get good marks in exam. This is a technique, effective technique. Suppose you remember this much, students will be reading lines and lines of political science book. But if you remember these 3 lines, you can explain in your own language. But if you don't know these 3 lines, how you will explain? You cannot write proper answer. So you have to learn only those key facts and you have to write answers in the point heading system only. This is the best way to write answer. Normally writing paragraphs or writing normal points also won't help. This point heading system is the best system. You experiment with it, you will get the benefit. I am telling this. Religion based politics is not always effective. Suppose here we have ideas, ideals, values, expression of people, regulation of the practice of religion. So suppose if you know these keywords also, you are getting 3-4 marks, 5 marks easily. So this is a easier technique. You have to remember less and you can remember easily and you can interrelate also. Ideas, ideals and values. When ideas, ideals and values are there, definitely there is expression of people. When there is expression of people, there means some regulation will be there. That is why people are expressing. So in this way you can remember easily. Communalism is in politics. Your point one is communalism is in everyday beliefs, political dominance of one's own religious community, political mobilization on religious lines. Communalism takes its most ugly form. So the thing is, if you know the key points, you can explain them easily. But if you don't know the key points, it is very difficult to explain. So when you have time shortage, you cannot read the line by line of the book. Then this is the effective technique. You know all the key points, you can explain on your own. And from when in MCQ's question also, these key points and keywords will help you. In some MCQs, like one MCQ will come, how much percentage of seats are reserved in Lok Sabha, or how much. Suppose it will come, not reservation exactly. How much percent of its total strength, or find the percentage of total strength of women for the first time in 2019 Lok Sabha. In that way, you can get the answer 14.36%. Or what is women's representation in state legislative assembly? 4 options should be given. You can easily get less than 5%. MCQs also from these key facts and key points, only the MCQs would be asked. So you need not remember line by line exactly. This is the emphasis. And by giving this kind of point headings, if you write the answer, means the examiner will get impressed really. Suppose you write first point, communalism is in everyday beliefs. Then you underline that point, and under that point heading, you are writing that how we find communalism is in everyday beliefs. 3-4 lines you are writing. Then you are leaving one line. Then your second point you are giving one heading, political dominance of one's own religious community. Then you are explaining that point in your own language. You are giving one point heading, explaining that point in your own language. So it becomes easy, especially in long questions. And remembering these key facts, key points and point heading, and following this point heading system, it also helps a lot in short questions and MCQs as well. The burden on you becomes less. Or suppose secular state, constitutional provisions to make our country a secular state country. Suppose freedom to profess, practice and propagate any religion, prohibition of discrimination on religious ground, no official religion, state intervention in religious matters, no religious instruction. So this way you can remember it easily. So this is the effective technique actually. Sorry. So this is a effective technique actually. Effective technique. Or suppose let me show you another example. This technique you need to learn actually. This is a better example. Suppose you are given calendars to popularize the products. Suppose how calendars popularize the products, the question came. So you have to only remember these point headings. Printing of calendars, used even by people who could not read. So if you remember these point headings, the advantage is these explanation lines you can write in your own, and these point headings will save you. If you don't read line by line also, remembering these point headings will save you. Thing is, these point headings are not directly given in the textbook. Actually what happened calendars to popularize the products, these things are written in the textbook in a paragraph form. So what you are doing, what most of the students do, they generally write the answers in paragraph, or they make the general points. They don't keep such headings for their points, which is a big problem. You need to have this kind of headings for your points that you need to make actually. It is not directly given in the book. Suppose book the topic heading is given, calendars to popularize the products, but these headings for the topic is not given in the book. This whole summary is written in the paragraph form in your textbook, but you have to make point headings. Why? To make your thing easier. These things will not be given in your textbook. You have to make it on your own by reading the book. Actually one of the teacher has made it, I am just showing it, but you have to make it on your own. If your teacher makes it, then it is well and good. If the teacher does not make it, then you need to make it on your own. Try to understand this. You have to make point headings. Means it is the easiest and simplest way in subjects like social science. So suppose you don't have time to remember this, whole paragraph. So what you are doing, you are remembering printing of calendars used even by people who could not read, you hung in tea shops and poor people's homes, figures of gods in these calendars, advertisement by Indian manufacturers. If you know these 5 lines under these point headings, you can write 2 pages easily. This is the harsh reality. Or you can write 1 page like this easily, and you will get 5 out of 5. You will explain this in your own language. But these point headings, if you know, then your answer will be clarity. And without point headings, if you write the answer in your own language also, the teachers may not give you full mark. But this point heading is the easiest possible way. That is why I am giving emphasis on point heading system. This system you need to learn. Another example I am showing you. Suppose one question, network of export trade. Suppose, see how easy it becomes. These 3 black headings, if you remember, you are getting 3 mark easily. How? Now you will write the explanation on your own, but these point headings will attract the examiners. And this link the port terms. Suppose link the port terms you know. So you can write something, no, like you can write, suppose supply merchants link the port terms, or port terms were linked in your supply. Whatever comes to your mind, if you will write also, you will get mark, full mark you will get. So this system has to be learned, the point heading system, so that these headings you have to make on your own. I am telling one again and again. You have to read the topic from your book and make headings from that topic on your own. Not that the headings should be given in the book. Book only the bigger headings will be given. This means the headings of the topic. Inside the given topic of the chapter, what point headings could be made. Or writing the points in short form. Basically, point heading system means what? Writing the point in short form, underlining that point or darkening that point, and explaining something under that point. This is actually the system of point heading. You need to understand it. Or suppose I am going to where I will go. Suppose I am going to Cbse. Suppose you see the thing, you try to understand. Just one example. Suppose I am asking, please write about global warming. Suppose, just an example, using point headings. Cbse also knows this very well. Using point headings means this technique. You see how the answer comes. Yes, good. Suppose this is helpful in long question easily. Easily you can get marks in long question. And short question also, some extent it will help you. You can do easily well. Suppose introduction to global warming. One question came in your exam, how to introduce global warming. You only need to remember these keywords. See how easy it becomes. Definition and context and causes. With these 2 keywords you will write the 2 pages. I am telling you, this is the reality. This is the easiest way to remember. Suppose evidence of global warming. You will only remember what? Temperature rise, melting ice caps, extreme weather events, and explanation you can write in your own language, no. But the key points, what key points you need to cover for that answer, that is important to know. Because without covering the key points, no one is going to give you mark if you write essays. So, and remembering line by line is difficult. So, remembering the key points and key facts. What are the key points? What are the key facts? In this way, you can save time and remember more things. Suppose impact on ecosystem. First, I am writing biodiversity loss. disruption of food chains. If you know these 2 point headings, you are getting 2 marks easily. Explanation you can write in your own language, no? So remembering point headings is important, especially in social science, humanities or memory based subjects. This kind of heading system is important. And this is the pattern how an answer has to be written in social science. Please follow this pattern of writing the answer. Printing of calendars, you have given the heading, then you are explaining under that heading, then used even by people. Point number 2, you are giving the heading, explaining under that heading, you are giving the heading, explaining under that heading, so it becomes quite easy. You are giving the heading, explaining under that heading, giving the heading, explaining under that heading. This is the answer writing style. This must be your answer writing style in social science. This is the simplest possible technique. I am telling you, this key facts, key points technique, this is the simplest possible technique. Your point number 1 will be printing up calendars. Under that printing up calendars point heading, you can write your explanation. So this was all about the system of point headings that has to be followed, especially by the class 10 students. Very helpful for class 10 students, especially by the class 10 students for social science, especially in history civics part. Actually, you need to follow this system of point headings in social science. Okay, thank you for all your support. I hope the students are getting what I am trying to convey, what technique I am trying to suggest. This much for today's session. Thank you.